A racist progressive takes on The Rock. Yeah, I wonder who's going to win this one. Welcome to the Jason Rand Show, presented by None Better Tax Resolution. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson told Fox News that he would not endorse Joe Biden again this year. He said an endorsement would cause too much division. It's not for the world to know how he plans on voting. Americans should decide on their own. But the internet's dumbest columnist, Jemele Hill, she takes issue with that. She called what he said a, quote, statement non-statement, because she doesn't understand how words work. But then she gets a little personal.
That's the kind of, frankly, political cowardice that's hard to respect. I don't understand how Joe Biden is the divisive one when what he's running against is pushing bigotry, xenophobia, every other phobia and ism you could possibly name. That is what they're literally campaigning on. Joe Biden is not campaigning on those same things. And so I don't even understand how Joe Biden got attacked for being the one who's dividing people.
It's no shock that Jemele Hill doesn't understand. She has the IQ and political acumen of a rattle. The Rock didn't even call anyone divisive. He said getting involved in politics divides his fan base, and he'd prefer not to upset anyone. But it's also not shocking that she doesn't understand why Joe Biden is seen as divisive. While Biden calls half the country fascists and extremists, Jemele Hill cheers it on because she thinks the same thing and doesn't think anything of it. You see, Jemele Hill thinks everyone is racist. Don't want incompetent Kamala Harris as president? Racist. Criticize a black woman who created a kidnapping hoax that sparked a large 2-day search for a baby that wasn't missing? You're a racist. Vote for Donald Trump? Yep, you're a racist. When you think 74 million people are racist, it's probably you that's the problem. And it's that problem that Biden and Democrats are suffering from right now. They don't view anyone who disagrees with them as worthy of respect or understanding. They assume the absolute worst of people that they don't agree with. Poll after poll shows this. A study by Pew Research Center found that about 41% of Democrats said they would not date someone who voted for a Republican presidential candidate, compared to 13% of Republicans who said the same of Democrat candidates. A YouGov survey found that Democrats were significantly more likely than Republicans to say they would be upset if their child married someone from the opposite political party. The Cato Institute conducted a survey revealing 52% of Democrats support firing business executives who privately donate to Trump's re-election campaign. And then the American National Election study found that Democrats express more negative feelings towards Republicans than Republicans did toward Democrats. It's this intolerance that, at least in part, explains why people are abandoning the Democrat Party. Are you too masculine? Well, you suffer from toxic masculinity. Wonder if it's fair for a biological boy to compete against your daughter, or think it's obvious that a man can't get pregnant? You're a transphobe. Skip a liberal arts college to become a plumber or electrician? Well, you're an uneducated rube. You won't go into more debt to buy an EV that won't make it from Shoreline to Cle Elum? Well, you hate the environment. They're so judgy. So maybe Dwayne Johnson wants to avoid stepping into that division or even causing it. And while the Jemele Hills of the world create chaos and espouse hate, voters keep ditching the party that seems to be filled with nothing but that very toxic emotion. Jason Rantz here with Greg Nunn, your local tax expert and advocate. Greg, thank you so much for coming on.
Hey, Jason, great to be with you again and talk about these tax issues.
So some folks out there have the IRS calling them nonstop or even coming to their door. What do you recommend they do?
You are protected by statute, by law, that when you have representation, they have to deal with your representative. And I am acting in your best interest when I'm dealing with the IRS. And I tell you, you don't want to talk to them, it'll just stress you out.
If you're having trouble with the IRS, then call Greg Nunn. Greg might be able to negotiate a settlement for up to 85% off the original amount owed, and that includes penalties and interest. Call Greg Nunn today. Did you like that commentary? Make sure you subscribe to the podcast of The Jason Rand Show. Get it at ktth.com or wherever it is you download your podcasts.